There you go.
Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm glad you're here with me tonight. Welcome to the USB Soul Stroke. As you see, I have some sage that I'm burning to create the atmosphere that I desire for tonight. I know some of you may not be aware of the power of sage, but it goes down through the history of time of what, people used to use it for to dispel bad energy, to create a good atmosphere. So, once again, we're with you tonight. We're glad to be here. We're honored to be here with you and to share with you some of the things that I've been exploring. As you know, last week I was talking about affirmations. One of my favorites that I will share with you right now is this: I am one with the infinite mind of God, and the abundance of the universe flows freely to me. I release every thought of lack or limitations, and I affirm that I am whole, perfect, and complete. I am a unique expression of the infinite, and everything that I need for my success is within me. Affirmations are something that you do to reprogram your subconscious mind. As you know, your subconscious mind, it is the creator of your reality. Your subconscious mind, it creates your reality. And we have been programmed, if you will, over time with limiting beliefs and uh, fear based beliefs that hold us back from achieving the things that we really desire, reaching our full potential. And I have some that I'm going to share because I'm thankful. Being showing gratitude uh, is a magnet for blessings. You know, because when you're grateful for things, it opens up the door for more things to come into your life. As I say that I'm always, taking time out to be thankful, to show gratitude for the things that I have, the things that are with me. I leave the house wanting nothing and having everything and expecting more. And so I have some affirmations that I'm going to share that I do in the mornings and and at night. And it's important that we take time out to do this. It'll change your life. It'll be, an incredible experience for you. Life, life is life is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to enjoy this ride. We chose to come here. We were, because of our existence, just because of our existence. You know, I'm gonna share this with you first. You competed with 2 million brothers and sisters for the chance to become human. And this process requires not only courage, but some would call it luck. I say it was intention. You had to overcome 4 hurdles. The first hurdle is the cervix. The gate only has a small opening that lasts only a few minutes, and you'll have to push your way through it. And this 20-centimeter stretch is surrounded by acidic mucus. The weak competitors will be gripped and collapse. Here, only the strongest runners can break through and to the second hurdle, the immune system. Here, white blood cells and macrophages will kill you mercilessly. You'll need to evade the hunters to get to the third hurdle, the crossroads of destiny. Only one of two paths, left or right, has egg cells, and you have a 50% chance. Wrong choice is death. Now, at this point, you have less than 100 left from the 200 million that started with you at the beginning. Now it's time for the final sprint. All runners are burning their last protein for energy and trying to push forward. But it's not all about being the first to arrive. There's an eggshell. There's a layer of defense on the outside of the eggshell. Now, while the other brothers and sisters are still trying to get in, you're so far ahead of the rest. You find a way in and you push your way in. And once you're inside the outer shell of the egg cell, it hardens, blocking the passage completely. No one else can get in. And as the winner of the competition, you will release the nucleus in your head with the father's genetic information to form a fertilized egg with the egg cell. Next, you will begin to replicate and divide, and your life will begin. That's amazing. That's outstanding. That's incredible. That's a miracle. Every day you get up, you see miracles walking around. And you're a miracle. I'm a miracle. We were intended to be here. It was by intention. It wasn't by chance. It wasn't luck. You were supposed to be here. And just because you exist, you have purpose. Just because you made it here on this planet, you have purpose. Now, the main thing is to find out what that purpose is. How do we know what is my purpose? How do I find out what it is that I'm supposed to do? Well, ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What am I really passionate about? What is it that has been burned and etched on the blueprint of your heart that you're to do? It's something. And once you find out what that is, follow your passion. Follow the excitement. Run to that excited portion of your life and allow yourself to dive in wholeheartedly without fear. Most people, man, they spend their time, worrying about how it's going to, the outcome or, opinions of other people. Let that go. You can't care about the opinions of people because that's not gonna make it happen. I was like that at one time in my life. I used to, think about what people thought about how I did things. And I got to the place where, you know what? Everybody's gonna have an opinion, and you have to get to where you don't care. You're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna do some things that, you could have done better. That's okay. Put yourself out there. Take the chance. You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll get better. Over time. Just keep trying. Do not quit. But you got to get started. You got to get started. At some point, you got to get started. And you got to allow yourself to reach. I talked about this last week. Reach for the unknown. The things, the uncertainty. The things that are you've never done before. Those are the things that's the place you want to go. Because that's where you find your true self at the core. You never learn about who you really are until you do reach for the unknown. It's going to be, it might cause some difficulty, but maybe not. It doesn't always have to be difficult. If you change your mindset, let it be exciting. I know that I am tied to this thing, man. Like I have to do this live. I have to do this radio thing. Because my purpose is tied to this. This is a part of the excitement that I have. This is a part of my passion. And I know that when I do this, there's a certain amount of fulfillment that I feel in my spirit, in my heart, regardless if it's 2 people or 200 people or 200,000 people. I feel fulfilled when I get the opportunity to do this. And I think that when you get in a place where you know that you're doing what there's a sense of knowing. You know that you're in that place called there. You made it. And there's a place called there. You made it there. But it doesn't mean that when you get there, that's the end. You stop. No, you continue to move when you get to that place called there. And you continue to operate in the gifts that you've been given. Everybody in this world has been given some type of gift. And you take that gift and you plant it and you fertilize it, you nurture it, and you allow that gift to take up root and to flourish and to grow. And how you do that is you use it. You have to use the gift. Every opportunity that you get, man. I don't care where it is. Every opportunity that you get, use the gift that you've been given. Allow yourself to be the type of individual that you know you should be. You know, don't live a life that's unfulfilled, man. One of the worst things that a person can do is live a life and then knowing toward the end of their life that they could have done some things that they didn't do, having regrets. Live a life with no regrets. Put it all out there. Lay it all out. You know, put it all out there. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You know, we're constantly evolving. You're constantly growing. You're constantly changing. You know, and you have to stay in a state that will allow you to vibrate at the highest frequency of love and compassion, to where you stay happy. I talked about this last week. How do you do that? Staying in a constant state of gratitude. That'll do it every time. Because the minute that you start thinking about anytime a person starts thinking about what's wrong in their life or what's happening in their life, just look around. And you'll find that somebody's doing a little bit, doing worse than what you are. And that's something to be thankful for. You know, there's somebody going through something, more than what you're going through. So be happy, be thankful. And whatever it is that comes into your life, no matter what it is, you can use it. You can use it for your good. You can use it to expand. You can use it to grow. You can use it to become more of who you need to become, more of who you truly are at the core of your being. You can use it. It's the definitions that we put to the certain circumstances that come into our lives. Change the definition. Change the definition. Stop saying that whatever comes up in your life is going to stop you from doing what you are striving to do. It had to be, everything that comes in your life is supposed to come into your life. It's there for a reason. Everything. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't there for a reason. But you got to know that all things do work together for your good, your eternal good. They do. And even if it's something that you don't prefer, it's going to work for your good. But it takes discipline and it takes persistence. You have to continue. It takes practice. Constantly remembering or thinking about what you're thinking about. How's your mind set? What's your mindset? You know, uh, things go through your mind constantly. Thoughts, they run through your mind constantly. Are you aware of your thoughts? Are you aware of what you're thinking about at the time that you're thinking about it? Most people subconsciously think negatively. You know, they're not even aware. Subconsciously, that's what happens. That's why affirmations are so important. So you can reprogram your mind to think positively on a regular basis. I checked myself. I literally stopped myself. No, I could be thinking in a certain way and something negative would come up and I say, no, no. And I flip the script. See, your life is in your hands. You're the producer, the actor, and the writer of this script of your life. And if it's not going the way you want it to go, you can change it. You can change it right now. All it takes is for you to decide that you want to change it. But you can change it. Change it, rewrite the script. And it's never too late. It's never too late for you to change. You can change it right now. Courage. Some things you have to muster up the courage to move through the discomfort. All the discomfort is because we make it uncomfortable. If we go with the flow that we're supposed to go in, because usually it's our resistance to the things that come up in our lives that creates the discomfort for us. But if we allow ourselves to go with the flow of whatever is presented to us in our life, it'll be a lot easier. But most of the time, when something comes up, we resist it. Instead of allowing it to be what it is, we resist it. And we give it a definition. Instead of just examining it and saying, wait a minute, how can this help me? What is this? I know it wouldn't be here if it wasn't here to help me. Literally. And another thing, what we have to do to allow us to be in a position to be in a constant state of gratitude is to forgive. First of all, forgive ourselves. Yes, we made some mistakes in the past. We've done some things that we're not proud of. I have, but I've learned to forgive myself. Forgive yourself and move on. Yeah, okay, it happened. It happened. But it's not you anymore. That person is not you anymore. You're no longer that person. I don't care what anybody says. And people have a tendency to try to bring up the past about what you used to be like, or what you used to do, or what you did before. And we're constantly evolving. You've changed. We're not the same person that we were 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 1 month ago, yesterday. We're not the same person. We're different. We're changing. We're constantly evolving. And when you know that you can become something new every day, something better every day. The competition is not a competition, except for you. It's you against you, and you don't have to battle yourself. Bring the best version of yourself that you can every single day. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Don't look at it as life being such a competition like that. You're not competing against nobody. You don't have to beat nobody out. Just bring the best version of yourself every day by learning to move through this thing we call life with ease, with flow. Move like you're going through the matrix, and you can do that. But forgive yourself, don't hold on to things the mistakes that you made in the past. You know that it happened, but it made you who you are today. You had to go through that in order to become the person that you are today. But don't look down on yourself, and don't let nobody hold you to those things that happened in the past, because you're no longer that person. You've evolved. Now, also forgiving others. Somebody did you wrong. They lied on you. They betrayed you. They hurt you physically or mentally or emotionally. They deceived you. And it was deep. But you have to find a way that incident, that thing that took place that dug so deep in your heart to hurt you, you have to find a way to let it go and forgive that person. Not for them, but for yourself. Because you don't want to be in bondage by not forgiving that individual. Because when you hold on to things like that, it just eats away at you inside. Inside. It's like a parasite, just eating away at you. Let them go. Forgive them and send them off with good graces. Because I guarantee you, if you're able to do that, your life will completely change. Stop holding on to things, holding a grudge. That's no good for you. It's not good for your health, for one thing. People that hold grudges, they have a tendency to be sick all the time. Or every time you think of that person, you get a bad, icky feeling. That's not good. So forgiveness is a very important aspect of living a life of being free, because you want to be free. I know some people right now. I know one individual right now that has not forgiven me, right? Now, and you know what? I don't know what it is that I did, because I look back and it was nothing. But for some reason, she's holding on to it, and she can't let it go. And I've laid that, I've done everything, but I know that whatever is hurting deep, because the bitterness that she has, it permeates. It's out there. She can't get over it. And I've decided, at first I used to take it like, what did I do, but because I've done everything. But I'm not going to allow it to be something that will prevent me from being who I need to be. I still get to be loved. I still get to be kind. I still get to be forgiving. I still get to overlook that fault and understand that she has needs. I still get to do that. And when you run into that situation, especially when it's a loved one, when you run into those situations, all you can do is just open your heart up for that person. Don't close up, don't close down, don't shut down, don't say, forget it. I've done everything, I quit. Don't stop. Keep your heart open. And every opportunity that you get, show them nothing but love and move on. Just show them love. That's the power right there. When you can show up individual love in spite of what they are and how they act towards you. I'm talking about loved ones. I'm talking about family members. Because those are the ones, a lot of times, that can really dig deep and get to you if you let it. But you don't have to let it get to you like that. You don't have to let it get to you. But you can still love from a distance too. Because some people, that's what you have to do. You have to love them from a distance. But they'll know that you love them. That don't mean you love them and you push them away. You love them setting your own boundaries. Setting your own boundaries. There's certain things that you just can't do and you won't allow to happen in your world. And there's nothing wrong with that. They can't take advantage of you. You won't let them take advantage of you or do anything that is against your integrity, that would jeopardize, your morals or anything like that. But I still love you. I just don't dig how you getting down right now. I'm just not, down with the way you're acting, the way your mode of operation. I'm not with that. It's not cool. Not with me. But I still love you. And I can't change you. And it's not my job to change you. I'm not trying to change you, but I love you. I'ma always love you and keep it pushing. That's how you integrate the forgiveness thing. You see, you got to forgive them in spite of what they do so you can be free. You got to be free. You got to be free to live a life that will, benefit you. Don't walk around with anger or a grudge. Let it go, man. Let it go. Let it go. It's not worth it. It's a waste of time. And worrying about being liked. Don't worry about being liked. You're changing. Everybody's the chosen one. Okay. I'm talking. I say I'm talking to the chosen ones, right? You see a lot of things about chosen ones. That's what's going out now about the chosen ones. And all it means is those who choose to do the mission that is called upon their life, that the calling that is upon their life, that choose to move in this thing we call life and operate in their gifts to change, the trajectory of what's happening right now. The new earth and the old earth. There are some that's going to stay in the old earth. They're not going to change. For the people that are on the new earth, they're going to be the ones that are going to, the ones that are operating on love, compassion, unity, all of that. Those are the ones. When you recognize that you are chosen, and that you choose this mission that you have elected to come down here on this planet to do, because you chose to come down. You made a decision to come to this planet to do something. Now, either you do it or you don't. But everybody that's living today made that decision before they became a sperm or an egg. Believe that. You existed before then. Your existence didn't just start on that 2 million men, when you were running toward that egg. Your existence came before that, if you could wrap your head around that part. So you chose to be here. And so, as a chosen one, you're not going to be, once you start really understanding who you are, and you start, being, woke, if you will, you're gonna look crazy to people. And, people are going to push you away. Or they might not push you away, they might walk away. Don't worry about that part. People are going to walk away. People are going to leave your life. But there are going to be people that are going to come into your life. And there are going to be people that are going to want to know more about what it is that you have to share. And those are the people that you want to focus on. Don't worry about being liked, because that's not what this is about. It's about putting out the message that everything a person needs is within themselves. They don't have to go outside of themselves to find it. Peace comes from within. Joy comes from within. Happiness comes from within. It always has. Look at children. Look at how loving and compassionate they are, just by the very nature of a child. That's what they do. Until they grow up and get older and get conditioned, and things are taught to them that, you're not supposed to like this type of person, and you're not supposed to hang around these people. We teach children things that a lot of times, whether it's the teachers or at school or on television, that it changes their attitude on life. They'll play with each other. They can have an argument with each other, and the next thing you know, you get them together. Hey, you guys stop fighting. Don't, get along. Apologize. They apologize, and the next minute, they're friends. They're playing together. We like to hold grudges. What's wrong with that picture? We do one thing to somebody, and then we mad at them for 30 years. Some people have held grudges for 30 and 40 years about something that happened to them when they was a child. I'm telling you, let go of the things that happened to you when you was a child. It's the little child, that the wounded little boy, that wounded little girl that's inside, that's holding you back from being the person that you need to be. You need to visit that little boy, that little girl, and have a conversation with that little boy and that little girl, so that you can heal, so that you can be free. Have a conversation. Just you, yourself, and I. You, yourself, and me, myself, and I. I've had to have those conversations with myself. I had to have a conversation. What's making you hold on to the things that you don't need to hold on? Those fear-based beliefs, those limiting beliefs, that allow you to be in a place where you think you're comfortable, but you're uncomfortable, but it's familiar to you. See, a lot of times we're so familiar with being uncomfortable or in discomfort. And this is the kind of discomfort, it's dysfunction. You know, we sabotage relationships behind it. We because we don't think that things are supposed to be good all the time. People sabotage relationships because of that hurt little boy that's on the inside, or that hurt little girl that's on the inside. You know, it's a shame that we allow. Like, I saw something the other day that it said that about a little girl without her father, how she goes, and when she gets with a man, she looks for that man to be something that she feels that she'd be, a man, a father to her. You know, all of the attributes that she didn't get, she looks for that in that husband or that man, and it backfires. I'm gonna present that next week, but and the relationship always goes sour, and vice versa. It's important. It's important. If they say when a woman does not have a father in her life, she backs out into the world, looking back towards finding some understanding from a man, a dad. That's important. Relationships. Getting back to what I was saying with the little boy and the little girl. It's a lot of healing that needs to be done, because people are hurt and they're not healed. And when you're hurt and you still not healed, and you're still harboring those feelings, and you get into let's say relationship, that's just like putting a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And the only person that can heal you is you. You're the only person that can heal you. You're the only person that can heal you. You. Because you got to find out what needs to be done. What happened? You got to ask yourself questions. Why do I feel that I need to feel this way? Why am I holding on to this belief? Why do I think that men are do such and such and such? Why do I feel that men are dogs? Why do I feel that women are no good? You got to ask yourself, what is it at the root? At the root, what happened to you when you were a little boy, a little child, a little girl? Something happened. And we need to heal. Because when you go into a relationship, or any type of relationship, and you're not healed, you're not free. You're in bondage. You're in bondage. You're not able to move like you need to move. You're apprehensive. You don't trust. And usually when you don't trust, you're not trustworthy. But most of the time, because you're so busy not trusting somebody, so you have reservations in certain areas in your life. So you holding back, and you're not being completely authentic. But one of the most powerful vibrations that you can vibrate on is authenticity. being authentic. And when you're being authentically who you are love. You are kind. You are honest. You are forgiving. You are expansive. You are creative. When you become who you authentically are, and you have to ask yourself, what is it that's not allowing me to be who I truly am? What happened to you? Address it. You don't have to tell the world. Tell yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say, this is what happened to me. Just because it happened to me, you doesn't mean that you have to hold on to it as something that will hold you back in life. It doesn't have to hold you back in your life. It happened. It was an incident. But you have to let it go. And you can't blame anybody for it, even if it was something that was done to you by somebody and you didn't have a choice and you didn't have any power. You got to let it go. Yes, it was wrong. Yes, they did it. But you have to open up your heart and love yourself enough to forgive yourself and to forgive that individual and move on so you can be free. So you can be free. So you can be authentically who you are. We have to take a look at ourselves. And sometimes it's not easy looking at ourselves. Finding, it's not a lot of times because you can't lie to yourself. You know who you are. If you're honest with yourself, and you have to look at the whole picture. Yes, I do some things that are really good, but I have some things in my character or that they aren't good. Some things that I do that's not, good. They're not. And I have to understand this. And I get to fix it. I get to work through it. I get to move through it. I get to create the SIMMIE that I want to create by looking at the things that I know that I need to fix in my life. I got to fix it so that I can become who I need to become. Most people don't want to be real about it. They don't want to admit to what they are, who they truly are. They want to brush it off. They don't want to, it's called self-awareness. Being aware of self. You got to be aware. Without no darkness, there is no light. There's got to be some darkness. Or else there's no light. How can you know where the enlightenment is if you never know where the darkness is? If you have no darkness. They work like yin and yang. They both work. It's balance. Find a way. Take time out. Don't be afraid. Because once you learn to look at yourself as you truly are, and it's not going to break you down, it's going to build you up. And you look at those things and you say, I'm going to fix this. And you do everything in your power to change the things that you can change in your character. You know what they are. Stop lying to yourself. You can't. Don't even try it. You know exactly what they are. You know that you can be selfish. You know that you lie. You know that you're not upfront and honest all the time. You know that you hide certain things. You've been hiding things for a long time. And you're not being open and honest and, you know, with people. You know that. Find a way to change it. Because when you change it, the miraculous takes place, man. You release yourself. You become free. You become free to do the things that you want to do in life. Everything else will open up for you. All things will open up. Synchronistically, the right people will come into your life. The people that you've been, things that you want to happen for you will happen for you. Don't be attached to the outcome. Just let it happen. And stay in a constant state of gratitude. But you can't stay in a constant state of gratitude until you do a serious evaluation of self and release all the things that are holding you back from not being a forgiving person. Starting with yourself. Forgive yourself first. Release that stuff. Release every grudge, every hard feeling that you have against people. You can start today, right now. You don't need an audience. You don't need a church. You don't need a preacher. You can do it yourself, by yourself, and release that stuff, and then begin to be thankful that you had the mindset to do it. Show the gratitude that you were thankful that you were able to let go of the things that were holding you back. It was a weight. It was bondage. It was holding you back. Now you let it go. Now be thankful. Be thankful for everything that you have, everything that's in your life, all the wonderful things that happened for you. You were able to wake up this morning, brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower. You were able to get up and go to work. Even if you didn't have a job, you were able to get up and breathe. Just because you exist, you're worthy. You're worthy, man. You're worthy for every good and perfect gift there is. You're worthy. You are worthy. You deserve it. You deserve everything that you desire. Yes, you do. You deserve it. Don't let anybody tell you don't deserve it, regardless of what happened in your past. Regardless of, you can start right now, this moment. Don't worry about the past. And the future's not here. Start right now in this moment. The eternal now. That's when you start. And allow yourself to just flourish in the now. How do you feel right now? Are you happy? Well, yes. Do you need anything? No. I have everything I need right now. And I'm grateful for everything that I have. And watch your life change. But you got to forgive. And you got to let go. And you got to heal the inner child. A lot of things have happened when we were kids that have literally made broken adults. Devastation. I'm not saying it wasn't devastating. Devastation. And one day I'm gonna get somebody on the show that really can talk in depth about that, because what we're dealing with is a lot of broken adults. We're broken. We're hurt. We need to heal. And once you heal, because you can't flourish, you can't grow, you can't expand until you heal. You just can't. It's always that something that's in the back of your mind or in your heart that doesn't allow you to be all that you can be, that you can truly be. And it's never too late. It's never too late. It's not too late. If you want to do it now, you can do it now. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too fat. You're not too skinny. You know, all of that stuff, negate that. Because you are an indestructible, infinite, eternal being. That's why. You got plenty of time. And it's not too late. And death is an illusion. We'll talk about that later as we move on with the show. You know, the shows. You guys keep hanging with me. Once you understand that you're an indestructible, eternal, infinite being, swallow that, digest it, know that that's real, know that that's true. That's who you are. That's powerful. That's powerful. But if you don't heal the inner child, you can't grow. So this is where self-awareness comes in. Because there may have been some things that have happened. Don't be afraid of them. Take time out. We don't go to counseling, you know, and sometimes that's necessary. If you need it, find it. Get counseling with somebody that you know that you can trust outside of, because sometimes you can't just go to any counseling, but you can heal. If you really, it takes courage, man. It takes courage. It takes courage. You have to really, it takes courage to look at self. And you find out, because you're not, you know, there are things that have happened. There are things that you've done. There are things that you said. There are things that were said to you that makes it difficult to get over, but not impossible. You can get over it. It's not impossible, but it takes work. And you got to be willing to make the sacrifice and have the courage to look at that aspect of your life and say, I'm going to change it, because you're so powerful. Man, you're so powerful. You're so powerful. You're outstanding. Everything that happened to you was supposed to happen to you to make you who you are today. You are great. You are powerful. You're creative. You're wonderful. You are a part of all that is. I am a part of all that is. You are a part of everything that spoke everything into existence. That's who you are. That's who you are. You emanate from that power. You emanate from that source. Before there was anything called time, you were. You were there. You just don't remember. And now my job is to help you remember who you truly are at the core of your being. Just because you exist. You chose to exist. You chose to be here. And you have a mission. Your life is worth it. And we need that inner healing. It keeps coming to me. Healing on the inside. Because we've been hurt. We've been hurt. Some of us don't want to admit it. You know, some people want to, they don't want to admit they've been hurt. And they let it fester instead of opening up. Sometimes it's like a wound. And sometimes a wound, it has to heal from the inside out. Because if it doesn't, the inflammation and the infection will poison the whole body. And you have to let air get to it. so they can heal from the inside out. So you have to open yourself up to allow that wound to heal. Don't close it up. It has to have air. It has to open up so that it can heal properly. And sometimes it's the fear of what people think of the unknown. What are people going to think about me? Don't worry about people. Don't worry about what nobody's going to think about you. Think about how important it is for you to feel better. Don't you want to feel good? Don't you want to feel whole, complete? Because you are. You're whole. You're complete. You don't need anybody to make you whole. You're a whole, complete individual. I got these affirmations. I'm going to share them with you for these last few minutes. I'm grateful. It is easy to look for all the gifts in my life. I appreciate the small joys and blessings that surround me each day. Gratitude fills my heart and transforms my perspective. I'm thankful for the ability to see how much there is to be thankful for. Gratitude is my daily practice, and it enriches my life with contentment and joy. I am blessed. Everything is working out to my maximum advantage. I witness miracles every day. The universe is conspiring to my greatest benefit to shower me with abundance, goodness, and love. I'm in awe. I'm wowed by life. I am humbled. I am grateful. I choose to see evidence in my life that I am truly blessed. Thank you, life. I am prosperous. I open wide the doors of my conscience to see that I live in a prosperous universe. I am continuously opening myself to receive unexpected money, unexpected resources, unexpected success, and unexpected goods at unexpected times from unexpected sources in unexpected ways. I'm in awe of the prosperity all around me. I am whole. I am whole and complete just as I am. I embrace all parts of myself, including my strengths, weaknesses, and imperfections. I radiate confidence and authenticity while embracing my wholeness with grace. I am connected to the universe and part of the greater whole. I cultivate a deep and loving connection with myself and embrace the wholeness of my being. I am love. Love and compassion guide my actions, bringing joy and harmony to all my relationships. I am deeply connected to my own heart, allowing love to inspire my decisions and choices. Love is my true nature, and I let it shine brightly for all to see. I keep my heart open even in the face of adversity, pain, or struggle. Love is the life force that fuels me. All is love. I am love. And I'm going to use this one more. I am infinite. I am one with the eternal flow of life, and I trust in the perfect timing of all things. I remember who I truly am. I am connected to the timeless wisdom of the ages, and I draw from this infinite well of knowledge. My creative potential is limitless, and I embrace the infinite possibilities of my imagination. I am an infinite being, and my potential for growth and expansion is boundless. I just wanted to share those with you. I thank you guys for taking a look, hanging out when you can. We're going to do our best to bring what we bring from our heart, that you can be here with us, that you can grow, that you can learn, that we can learn together, and that some way, somehow, that it touched your heart, touched your soul, and some way it's been helpful to you. I hope it's been helpful for you. So until next week, we will see you next week. Same time, Stephanie won't be here next week. So always remember beyond the shadow of a doubt that me, USB, I truly do love you, my friend. On that soul stroke tip, take care. We're out of here.